the womanhood dream has come true for Mickie James. I'm John Retton with my review of NWA Empowerrr, an all-women's pay-per-view, the brainchild of Mickie James, the executive producer of the show, in fact. And she had a dream to do a big cross-promotional event to bring women from all over the world together on this supercard. Women from the Indies, from AAA, from AEW, from Impact, and obviously the NWA, because it would be weird for the NWA to promote an event and not have a contingent of their women's division on this show. At the Chase in St. Louis, the spiritual home of the NWA, and the women get to wrestle in St. Louis for the first time in a while under the NWA banner. This was a big goddamn deal. Now, I will say a couple notes. One, this show was by no means perfect. There were issues. That was mainly on the production side, but these things happen. And two, I'm not that familiar with some of these names, so I apologize if I don't know the backstory. And also three, I apologize if my voice sounds a little bit shot. I had a coughing fit when I tried to ingest some meat, and man, when you put too much meat down your throat, you're going to have a coughing fit. I need to have a better gag reflex. Well, I just opened up Pandora's box for all the jokes in the goddamn comments, but let's have some fun, and also let me know your thoughts on this show in the comments, please. So, they had a pre-show on YouTube, and they had Sky Blue versus Christy James. Now, Sky Blue has been impressive in her recent outings on NWA programming. Christy James, she has a great look. She obviously worked heel here. Sky Blue does have some great energy. And James did do good heel work here. Some nice near falls. This was, it was not a match that was going to set the world on fire, but it was a nice way to get the crowd into it. And both these women worked hard. There was Miss Moonsault off the second rope by James, very beautifully done. And a roll-up, a stack roll-up, so to speak, by Sky Blue. 1, 2, 3. Good stuff. That was fine. And then there were a few tech issues, like I thought we were just going to have, like, you know, an old-timey radio show, and we were just going to have to imagine the show, you know, with just nothing but audio. But then they finally fixed it. I did like the Stevens, Kratos, and May Valentine 1948 old-timey footage thing. That was really nice, the grainy footage. And May saying, well, don't you think that women, you know, could have their own tag team championships and have their own show? And Stevens not being a dick, but playing, you know, like the old-time wrestler. Like, no, women are good for many things, but they're not going to be good for running their own show and this kind of stuff. And it was nice. And then that brought into, you know, the crazy country song, whatever the name of it was. Crazy Old Woman, I think is what it was. Joe Galley, Velvet Sky on commentary. And I get it. I understand the need to have a female voice, but they couldn't have just gone with, oh, I don't know, anybody other than Velvet. Was Velvet the only one that returned Billy Corgan's calls? Like, was nobody else available? Because Velvet is just not that good on commentary. I don't know who the other person was that was with Joe Galley, but he kind of reminded me of Steve Zahn if you sucked all the charisma out of him. And if you know Steve Zahn, you know that's going to be kind of difficult to do because the guy only had enough charisma to get himself through Joyride and A Perfect Getaway. And also That Thing You Do. Moving on from that. So here's Mickie James, the executive producer. She's getting, you know, a big ovation and everything. The crowd, I will say at least some of them were in masks. Good job there. She lost one of her sleeves. Sleeve ripping bandits. We need to get my dress to a hospital. Thank you, Mickie. She's getting the adulation and everything. She's very emotional. Women can't draw, this kind of stuff. And Mickie was told this stuff. Yes, obviously, this is not the first ever all-women's pay-per-view. Shimmer's been running all-women's shows for a while. And there's been other promotions that have done stuff like that. I mean, hell, you had all Japan Women's Wrestling. You had a bunch of stuff. But this is the big goddamn deal because this is at least showing the NWA is willing to work with other people, because I've been critical of the NWA product since they've come back from, you know, being off a year due to the pandemic, and they've had their issues. But I will say that this was nice to see. Now, there are some things I'm going to critique a little bit later, but Mickie was very emotional talking about this, getting the thank you Mickie chants. This isn't about me, this is about the women. Let's get started. And then commentary runs down the they run down the card and everything, and we get Kylie Rae, Chick Tormenta, and Diamante. So it's NWA, AAA, and AEW. Kylie is amazing just because of the energy and everything. I mean, hey, at least she was having fun. And hopefully she sticks around for a while and everything. As long as she's, you know, in a good headspace and happy with herself, I think she's going to be a good fit for the NWA. Also, Becky Phillips, I believe was the name of the referee. She was taller than the wrestlers, and I couldn't unsee it. They worked hard, I will say that much. I've never been the biggest fan of Diamante, but she's fine with the right opponents. I've never seen this chick Tormenta before, but she was fine. Kylie Rae was clearly the star here. Tower of Doom for 2. And then later on, we get a chain distraction and everything. I'm not going to go through every single move on this goddamn, in these goddamn matches, except, for one particular match that I really, really liked. But, we get a code red from Diamante that Velvet, called a Canadian Destroyer, which I'm not surprised because Velvet really doesn't know anything about wrestling. Her wrestling, skills and hair have not progressed past 2005. In fact, if anything, her hair hasn't progressed, and she has just gotten steadily worse since 2005. 1, 2, 3. Hooray! Diamante got the victory. It was what it was. But Kylie Rae did some good stuff. Diamante winning wasn't the worst thing in the world. It was what it was. It was obvious Chick Tormenta was really just there to, fill out this whole thing in this cross-promotional deal. So we then get Hell on Heels, Renee Michelle and Sahara 7, which raises the question, what happened to Sahara's 1 through 6? Was this a genetic experiment got wrong? Are we going to have, a giant, centipede? Is it going to be a human centipede thing? Is it going to be like Genova from Final Fantasy VII? Is it going to be Sahara's 1 through 6 coming back to revolt in the chase tomorrow? I hope not. As crazy as that would be, we don't need more science fiction wrestling. What am I even on about? I have no idea who Sahara 7 is. She has a great look, and her and Renee Michelle did a pretty good job here. They took on the Hex, Allison Kay and Marty Bell, who have been rivals and friends and rival friends. Semi-final match for the NWA Women's Tag Team Championships, which, hey, if you're going to defend those across some promotions and everything and bring some teams in and try to freshen things up, I'm all for it. I mean, I really hope that they can do that, and hopefully maybe this can help pump up Power a little bit, because, by God, the numbers for that need to be pumped up. The referee, by the way, I think was around when Mildred Burke was actually wrestling and probably saw her in person. She looked like she needed to be laid out and have words spoken over her. Her social security number is 1. When she was in school, they didn't have history. Anyway, and she also had a mullet that was weighing her down. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is the ref was a little bit old, in case you didn't get that. It was hard hitting. Hell on Heels were obviously the heels, because the heels wasn't just referring to their boots, because these boots are made for stepping, and that's what I like them to do. So moving on from that, Marty Bell got targeted for a bit, even though there was some hard-hitting action to begin with. Hot tag to Allison Kay. Great spike DDT by Sahara 4-2. And then eventually we get the the Hexecution, which I can appreciate the wordplay there. 1, 2, 3, and it was a fine semifinal match. Now the question is, did the Hex get over-hextended? Haha, I'm proud of that. I'm not. Did they get over-hextended, or will they be able to win the finals? But who will they face? Haha, we find out next. The Free Babes, Jazzy Yang, Hollywood Haley J, and Miranda Gordy. Hollywood Haley J apparently is not very well liked among some people that are independent wrestling fans. I'm not that familiar with her, but I saw some stuff being said about her, so whatever. I did appreciate the play on words. Miranda Gordy, you can tell she's Terry Gordy's daughter. I'm going to say that. She wrestles just like him. Jazzy Yang, the daughter of Jimmy Wang Yang. I am now old enough for the fact that, my God, I feel old that Jimmy Wang Yang has a daughter. And I think she's only 18 or 19, but still, she's just at the beginning of her career. But man, time flies, doesn't it? Jimmy Wang Yang. Good fucking grief. He was so much better as Jimmy Yang. So, moving on from that. This is a semifinal, NWA women's tag match. So, it was what it was. I will say that, and they took on Red Velvet, by the way, and Kylan King. Red Velvet, who I've been impressed with when she's not, jamming her head on a dive or missing a moonsault. Red Velvet, however, still has a long way to go. Kylan King has great size, a great look. I mean, a great look. She is going to be a goddamn star. And Red Velvet has that charisma. Red Velvet bounced around like a goddamn Super Bowl. Gordy wrestled just like her dad. Yang did fine. That Hollywood Haley J at one point tossed a jacket at Red Velvet. I assume that's part of her thing. Like, haha, I'm just going to do this. It's adorable. Yay. So anyway, this had energy to it. I'll say that much. And then Kingdom Falls eventually 1, 2, 3. So Velvet and Kylan King advance. And all right, cool. They talk and they do a pre-tape or a backstage thing, which I assume wasn't a pre-tape, talking about the NWA Women's Tag Title history. Gail Kim is here in a silk robe. I'm not going to complain about that. She also has a killer theme. But Gail Kim has done so many great things for women's wrestling. It's a shame that WWE didn't want to utilize her. I saw her in her first run, I believe in like September of 2004. And man, they didn't know what the fuck to do with her. She wrestled on the tag team with Nydia. That's how long ago that was. So anyway, Gail Kim comes out talking about all, the great history of wrestling. Mildred Burke, Sensational Sherry, going over all the history. And Gail Kim is a student of the game, is absolutely great. I don't believe she wrestles anymore. I believe she's only doing producing for Impact. But the name she has in wrestling and the incredible shit she did in Impact Wrestling, especially for the Knockouts run for the initial bit until she went to WWE, I believe, to get more money to help out one of her siblings who was having medical issues, and good on her for doing that. Such a shame that she had to go to a company that was not valuing women. But the whole point is she did some really, really good stuff and was out there cutting a promo and everything, talking about the history of women's wrestling. And then Taryn Terrell, Genocide. Genocide is an uncomfortable name to say. It's nothing against the talent, but man, it's Walt Disney's favorite women's wrestler. Moving on. And Paola Blaze, I believe I pronounced that right. Goodness me, she is beautiful. Fiery orange hair and just a great look. And Taryn just seemed confused because she wasn't abusing a significant other like she did back in 2010. No, I'm not going to forget that. Taryn Terrell deserves just as much scorn as anybody else that decides to do that, regardless of gender, regardless of what you do. You lay your hands on a significant other and you take advantage of them, somebody that puts their trust in you. You deserve to be smacked down verbally. Taryn Terrell should not be in... And she keeps saying, doing all this stuff and everything. She's really doing bad stuff. Like, Taryn Terrell cannot really cut promos or... She had a great feud with Gail Kim, and that's all she ever did in wrestling. So anyway, here's Kong, who just hits everybody. Just demolishes everybody. We haven't seen Awesome Kong, actually, on a wrestling program, I think, since early 2020, when she got injured to go possibly film heels, and then the pandemic happened, and she got released from AEW because she had too many injuries. And that happened. She'd been wrestling for a number of years and had an incredible run, incredible feud with Gail Kim. My God. Vader versus... It was as close to Vader versus Sting as you were going to get as far as like battle back and forth, or at least David versus Goliath. But Kong should have been the woman version of Vader. And the fact that WWE failed to do what they failed to capitalize on. Yeah, she got pregnant and she came back at the 2012 Royal Rumble. But anyway, getting bogged down too much in the history. Kong does cut a promo, says she's not much for words, but says that Gail brought me here. I'm done, and I love you, Gail. And you know what? That's fine, because it's been pretty obvious she's had a lot of injuries. Like, when she came to AEW, it was cool, but it was obvious her body was shot. Injuries and everything. Father Time is undefeated. And they hug. It was a big moment. Really, really big moment. And then we go from that. But, they were like, thank you, Kong. And seriously, thank you, Kong. Very good stuff. Melina was unveiling a new look. She actually had a veil on, so it probably didn't make sense. And Deonna was in a giant fur coat. And thankfully tights, because if she wrestled in just that fur coat, it would have been really, really awkward. So it's Melina versus Deonna Perazza for the Impact Women's Championship. Or an Impact Knockouts Championship, I'm sorry to say. I misspoke. Deonna's very good. Melina was good. Melina's shot. Like, the spirit is willing, the body can't go anymore. She really can't do all that much in the ring. And she tried. They tried to tell a story where could Melina, this legend, and I'm sorry to do that, but I guess she does qualify as far as like her name value and everything. But can Melina, beat Deonna? Can she beat the younger champion and everything and have one more run with glory? No, she can't. Deonna targeted the arm because she uses the Fujiwara armbar and targets the leg and everything. And Deonna does go into the post. Melina keeps trying to capitalize. The overdrive, don't do the overdrive. It didn't work for Orton. It did not work for MVP. It ain't going to work for Melina, especially when she don't got that much spring left in her legs. Melina kept selling the knee a lot. A lot. We get the armbar and we get the pretzelizer, as I call it, because Deonna just folds her up and everything, and it's all twisty, and this kind of stuff. And it's like that scene in Suspiria. Remember that? That was kind of gross. But yeah, Deonna gets the victory. It wasn't a bad match. The storytelling was fine, but I feel it went a little bit long. But it was what it was. So, anyway, Medusa then joins commentary, because 4-person commentary teams always go well. So we have the Hex, Marty Bell, and Allison Kay against Red Velvet and Kylan King. NWA Women's Tag Title Finals. Kay and Kylan are about the same height, I noticed. And I will say that they did some pretty good stuff here. Kylan and Velvet seemed to play more of the heels here because it was pretty obvious that Kay and Marty were more cheered. Nothing against Velvet and Kylan, but as far as the NWA banner, they were going to be cheered a little bit more. And Velvet did hit a nice hurricanrana. We did get a flip stunner, and we got some good, action here. In fact, Velvet didn't bounce around so much like a Super Ball once she got the hot tag. Kylan really did some good stuff here too. But after a missed splash, we get a melee, and the assisted AK-47, 1, 2, 3, Kay and Bell win the NWA Women's Tag Team Championships. They celebrate. Really good stuff. That was good. That was very, very good. I enjoyed that. And even Velvet and Kylan were like, okay, let's hug. We're celebrating women's wrestling. And now we move on to Layla Hirsch versus Camille with strictly business there because we have to get the guys in there. I get it, but Camille is way taller than Layla Hirsch as far as the visual and everything. It's not like Camille couldn't have come out on her own, but no, they had to do something a little bit later. But Layla Hirsch versus Camille for the NWA Women's Championship. I have one thing to say about this match. And also, and again, what a fucking match. Really fucking good. The fact that this did not main event the goddamn match was pretty fucking ridiculous. Or main event the pay-per-view. Because, hate to say it, this would have been better than the goddamn match I ended up main eventing. Layla Hirsch has impressed me since the first time she appeared on AEW programming. AEW Dark or Dark Elevation, I don't remember exactly what. I think it was Dark because she's been on for a while. She is good. She is really good. Yes, she's small. Somebody made the comment, they're recording over her shoulder. Well, I mean, she's like 4'10", so it's not that hard. I mean, you could basically, just put the camera up on one finger, barely while you're sitting down, and it would be above her shoulder. But looks can be deceiving. She's compact. She's in shape. She can wrestle. She can damn wrestle. Layla Hirsch bumped her ass off here. Camille is a gimmick and has a good look and can hit some good stuff, but she's still very much just the Amazon that sits there. Snoo. No, she's very much the Amazon that just stands there, can do some power moves, but needs to work with somebody smaller that can bounce around and, fly around everything and, make her moves look more impactful. Because she has a great look. But again, Layla did some really, really good stuff here. Now, I do want to say, though, Kyle Davis reads a statement from Billy Corgan, slamming all people that are, well, anyway, Billy Corgan was on Alex Jones' show. That's all I really need to fucking say about that. But anyway, about Mildred Burke and the original belt and everything, which, again, that referee, was around for and probably saw created because her social security number is 1. And moving on from that. So Tim Storm joins commentary. I love Tim Storm. Tim Storm's great, and he provided a lot of great insight here. And also, we didn't have to hear Velvet nearly as much. So that's always a bonus. David versus Goliath. Layla, hit and run, and Camille used power at one point, slamming Layla into the goddamn steps. Really, really good stuff because they built it where Layla kept getting beat down, but kept rising back up. And Camille's like, I'm all strong and everything, doing the double bicep, all that. Doing these just doing the power bitchy pose and stuff like that. Well, Aldis, her man, Tom Latimer, who also has his own abuse problems in the past, and Adonis are right there because why not just get the guys involved on an all-women's pay-per-view? I understood the men's commentary team because Tim Storm, really good, and Joe Galley. I love Joe Galley. Great sports-based, feel to him. But still, anyway, Layla did bump her goddamn ass off. She did really, really good stuff here. Strictly business in the VIP room, as I wrote down. Camille's offense was kept simple but effective. German suplex off the top by Layla. Beautifully done. That got a big pop. They built to this shit. She hit a series of German suplexes and a couple Shining Wizards for 2. She had to throw everything at her because even though Layla is compact and in shape, she's like, okay, we got to take down the bigger person. We got to beat her down. Cross arm breaker to the ropes. Torture rack bomb for 2. Big lariat from Camille. Big stuff. This is going to be one of my favorite matches of the year. This was well worth getting the pay-per-view. Even with some of the issues they had heading into this, which were here and there. This made buying the pay-per-view worth it. And I bought the bundle, so it is what it is. But missed moonsault and the backstabber, though, because Layla kept coming right back. The arm breaker got cut off with a powerbomb and then spear. 1, 2, 3. And Camille celebrates and everything. And then They got to have the guys involved because NWA 73 is tomorrow. Let's have Trevor Murdoch confront Nick Aldis very badly on an all-women's pay-per-view. Maybe you shouldn't have fucking done that. Seriously. Like, maybe not. Because if you have to do that to try and sell the pay-per-view, then you really haven't done a very good job on your weekly television selling the pay-per-view. So anyway, this was a great goddamn match, and in my opinion, was a peak of the show. Now, the next match was the main event. It was the NWA Women's Invitational Cup Gauntlet. 10 entrants, 1 Invitational Cup. That's going to be a really gross video. But in all seriousness, going back to Layla Hirsch versus Camille. Fan-fucking-tastic, one of my favorite matches of the year. This will not take very long to talk about because, sweet Jesus, the production team decided to fall asleep or go on speed and then do something else. And they just left one camera playing a graphic for 80 fucking years. So 10 entrants, 1 enters every 2 minutes. Pinfall submission is the only way to get eliminated. So Bianca Corelli versus Chelsea Green versus Debbie Malenko versus Lady Frost. Jamie Senegal, sorry if I mispronounce any of these names. Genocide, again, Walt Disney's favorite wrestler. Kira Hogan, Masha Slamovich, Thunder Kitty, and Tootie Lynn. Chelsea and Kira start off. Alright. Impact girls, fighting off and everything. Well, I mean, Impact women. Kira actually just recently left Impact, has made appearances on AEW. Chelsea recently went back to Impact. Number 3 is Bianca Canelli, Santino's daughter. Hopefully she has better views on, people than her dad does, if you know what I mean. Number 4, Thunder Kitty. She's 100 years old. Okay, gimmicky, whatever. She wrestles old school, literally. Number 5, Genocide with Taryn. She eliminates Bianca quickly. And then Lady Frost is in, number 6. And the camera crew reminds you with a bad camera cut. I don't know what the deal was. I don't know if the production team went to sleep. I don't know if the production truck got lifted up into the space station for repairs. I don't have a goddamn clue. But they just had this weird camera that kept going, and had the Lady Frost graphic reminding you that Lady Frost is, in fact, indeed in this match. And then eventually they got it fixed. Thunder Kitty got eliminated, I think. Then we kept having the Lady Frost graphic. So, number 7 was Debbie Malenko. And then number 8 was Jamie Senegal. Apparently, and I had to be told who she is. Apparently, transgender wrestler, transitioning into becoming a woman. Good. I mean, great. Live as who you are. Live comfortably. Live as who you are. Be who you are. And I just want to say, I want you to look right back there. If I'd be transphobic, I'm banning you from my fucking channel. We can have some fun, we can have some jokes, but we're not going to do any of that. We're not going to do any of that transphobic shit. So anyway, I'm not familiar with her, but okay, good. Good representation. She had a ton of fire. I did not catch the name of her manager. But anyway, Crossbody eliminated Lady Frost, which was kind of nice. And then Kira pins Debbie while Chelsea is in a surfboard. That was really cool. And then Kira dives on everybody. And then Masha Slamovich decides to jump on everybody. Everybody dives. ... dive. And then number 10 is, or not number, well, Genocide gets topped by 3-4-3. Number 10 is Tootie Lynn, Hometown Girl. I'm not familiar with her, but she got a big pop, and apparently her family is in the front row. So, Jamie got eliminated by Slamovich. We're down to the final 4. Tower Doom. Kira got eliminated. And then Masha got eliminated by, I believe, Tootie. That was nice. Tootie Fruity. Oh, Looty. Woo! And then it was down to Tootie and Chelsea. And then eventually Unprettier 1, 2, 3. Chelsea Green wins. Yay. Whatever. I mean, I understand why they went with it, but my thing is whoever faces Camille's going to lose anyway. Why not just have Tootie Lynn win and then have her family come back and we have this? But then again, they're probably trying to bridge this whole thing with Impact Wrestling. Don't give the title to Chelsea Green's all I gotta say. The roster comes out. Chelsea celebrates with the Invitational Cup around all the women. That's a lot of women for one Invitational Cup. Moving on from that. So, overall, the show, not bad. The highlight to me was Layla Hirsch versus Camille. There was other good parts on the show. I can't say it was perfect, but as far as the women working hard, I will give them credit for that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.